Hello everyone, Neil Tappin here from Golf Monthly, and welcome to this video in which we are looking at the 7 best golfing innovations of the last decade. This is everything from things we've seen in golf clubs through to the technology that we now rely on week in, week out on the golf course that's made a big difference to our games. Guys, we'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. What are the golfing innovations that you've seen in the last 10 years that have made the biggest difference to your game? Please do post some comments below, we'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. But let's head out now onto the golf course here at Prince's and find out what the 7 best golfing innovations of the last decade have been. Number 7 on the list relates to shot tracking technology. The first time I used this was with a brand called Game Golf. They had a device that you put onto your belt. Before every shot that you hit, you tapped the belt with the butt end of the club. It recorded where you hit the shot from, and then a load of data was then sent back to your phone or your computer. You could delve into that data to find out how you were performing. Since then, we've seen innovations from Arcos and their collaboration with brands like Cobra that again offers that same shot tracking technology. And then also I've been using ShotScope. This is a GPS watch that you wear that in addition offers you all the yardages that you need out on the golf course, but it also records every shot that you hit in conjunction with some tags that you have on the end of your golf clubs. And again, you have that ability to delve into the data after you play golf. And over time, it really does offer some very interesting trends. It might be that you find out that you hit your 7-iron 20 yards shorter than you hit your 6-iron. It might be that you need to do some tweaks to your set makeup. But also, one thing that I discovered in my game was that I was far more likely off the tee to miss right than I was to miss left. Now that gave me some good feedback, something to work on in practice, but also crucially it gave me something to work on when I was building a strategy out on the golf course. For instance, if there was out of bounds all the way down the right hand side of the hole, I know that that's a big danger for me and my game, and I need to take a strategy that avoids that trouble. Whereas if that same danger was all the way down the left-hand side of the hole, perhaps that's not such a big danger for me in my game. Shot tracking technology has been a big innovation in golf over the last decade, and ultimately what it's done is it's enabled golfers to understand their games a little bit better and perhaps enjoy their golf a little bit more. Okay, so number 6 on my list relates to spikeless golf shoes. The first time we really saw spikeless shoes was in 2010 when Freddie Couples wore a pair of Echoes at the Masters. And since that point, it really sort of took the golf industry by storm, and it's become a really crucial element of every key manufacturer's ranges. You'll find that most manufacturers have more than one spikeless offering in their range, from something that looks really quite traditional and classic through to things that look really sort of modern and sporty. There should be something out there to really suit your taste. And don't forget that if you are interested in a pair of spikeless golf shoes, the key factor with them is that you can wander straight into the clubhouse without having to change your shoes. You can be in the office in the day, drive up to the golf club in the evening and go straight out and play without having to change your shoes. It's that extra versatility that's made them a really big plus point for a lot of golfers out there. And that's why ultimately they've made it onto our list of the best golfing innovations of the last decade. Okay, so the next one on my list relates to the faces of your golf clubs. This has been an area that the manufacturers have really focused on. In particular, what they're trying to do here is to ensure that when you don't hit a shot from the very centre of the face, that you still get really good ball speed and you still get really good distance. That's what we mean by forgiveness, ultimately. Currently on the market, we've seen trends towards Callaway and their artificial intelligence faces, TaylorMade and Twist Face. Cobra have got their CNC milled face designs, all designed to ensure that ball speed is preserved when you don't hit the centre of the club face. But it's not only in the wood sector, it's also in the irons as well. Again, we're seeing a shift towards hollow headed irons. That affords the manufacturers that bit more space, that bit more room to play with on the face, to ensure that when you do hit a shot out of the heel or out of the toe, you still get really good distance. Again, it's one of these areas that if you haven't invested in new golf clubs for a while, this element of extra ball speed on your miss hits, it might just make a big difference to your game. So the next one on my list relates to waterproofs. And what we've seen over the last 10 years is a sort of move towards waterproofs becoming lighter in weight, more stylish and offering excellent waterproof protection as you would hope for, to the point where now we've got garments like Galvin Green's Shake Dry, which is incredibly light and offers brilliant waterproof protection. Under Armour have got a Gore-Tex Pack Light in their range, and we've also got a FootJoy Hygienic, which is a half zip jacket that you can sort of just leave in your golf bag and use whenever you need to. But the key point about all of these is they all offer excellent waterproof protection. Whatever your budget, there should be something out there now on the golf market that will enable you to play golf in the worst of the weather conditions. And it might be something that if you haven't invested in new waterproofs for a while, it might be the golfing innovation that just about makes the biggest difference to your game. So the next one on my list relates to adjustability. Now, the first time we saw a movable weight golf club was the TaylorMade R7 Quad, and that was back in 2005. Do any of you remember that driver? Did you use it? If so, what did you think? Because the thing about that driver is the first time players were able to set the driver up to help them produce a certain sort of shape out on the golf course, whether that was a fade or a draw. Now, we've seen that concept evolve drastically over the last decade. Now what you'll find with modern day drivers is that fitters have the chance to set the loft and the lie of the driver independently from each other to dial the driver in for you, both in terms of your physique, how you stand to the ball, but also in terms of the shots that you're looking to play. You also still have, in many cases, the ability to set the driver up to help you hit a draw and a fade. But you also now have this additional bit of adjustability that's come in that helps you dial the spin in to your game exactly right for you. So for instance, the Titleist TS3 that I've got here has a weight cartridge that sits in the back of the head. This changes the centre of gravity of the driver. If you're a higher spinning player, you can move it so that the centre of gravity goes a little bit further forward in the head and brings the spin down to help you hit the ball a little bit further. If you're looking for a little bit more forgiveness, you can set the driver up so that so the heavier weight sits further back in the head, produces a little bit more spin and does provide that forgiveness that you're looking for. So with modern day drivers, you're getting a hell of a lot of adjustability, and a lot of that has come in over the last 10 years. So the next one on my list relates to electric trolleys, which over the last decade have become a hell of a lot more compact and a lot lighter. The key thing here is that you don't need as much storage space in the boot of your car or even at home to put your trolley in. They fold down really, really small. They're so much easier to get in and out of the car because they've become so much lighter. And because of that, they're much easier to maneuver while you're out on the golf course. A lot of these improvements are down to the lithium batteries that you now see so often in electric trolleys. They've made a big difference to that sort of compact, lightweight performance. And the other thing to mention in the trolley market is that we're seeing more and more technology being built into the trolleys. Things like Stuart Golf's X9 Follow, the trolley that follows you as you walk around the golf course. Then you have Power Caddy's GPS, trolley, and Motor Caddy's M5 Connect, where you have that GPS functionality built into the trolley so it's there whenever you need it on the golf course. All of this means that if you put an electric trolley from today up against one from 10 years ago, the difference would be night and day. It makes a huge difference to all of those people that rely on their electric trolleys to get the most enjoyment they possibly can from 18 holes. Okay, so number one on my list is launch monitors. Now, if you've been fitted for a golf club over the last few years, chances are you were fitted on a launch monitor, and that certainly would not have been the case a decade ago. That ability to see the shots that you're hitting, both in terms of the ball flight in the flesh, but also in terms of the numbers that are there in front of you, finding out what your spin is like, what your club path is like, and what you're doing in terms of the delivery of the club to the ball through impact, has enabled golf coaches to fit better and also to give better lessons, which ultimately benefits golfers of all abilities. In terms of the launch monitors on the market, you have Foresight have got their GC Quad, you've got TrackMan and FlightScope, but you've also got SkyTrack that are offering a launch monitor at slightly more affordable prices for everyday golfers to be able to use. It's an area that we expect to see big innovation in again over the next 10 years. We expect them to be used even more often than they currently are. But if you look back 10 years ago, you wouldn't have seen many people being fitted or having lessons on a launch monitor. Now, more often than not, launch monitors are involved in this environment, and if it helps people find better equipment and to play better golf, then it's got to be a good thing. So there you have it. That was our list of the 7 best golfing innovations of the last decade. What did you think? And more importantly, was there anything you think we missed? We'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. What's been the single biggest piece of innovation in golf that's made a difference to your game? We'd be very interested to hear. Please do leave comments below. And also please do hit the like button if you've liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of our videos. Guys, thank you very much for watching, but for now, from Princes, it's goodbye.